to the last. Click of the rollie, niggas they know me. On the corner drinking a 40, spicking them honey. Grabbing my dick, kitchen for Coney. Niggas can step it, wet up like laundry for throwing shade like a palm tree. I'm in the projects waiting for this pissy elevator. No,
Yo, Squint Squad, what is good, guys? You already know who it is. It's your boy Squints, and yo, we're back with another story time. And like I said at the beginning of the year, you know, we got some things for you guys, you know, and I've been gone for a while, you know, last year, but we here to let you know what I've been doing. You know, I'm a nurse now, guys. I'm a licensed nurse. Yeah, I'm a licensed nurse now. You know, so my consistency it's for a good reason. You know, I use the what they call it, the panorama. During the pandemic, I chose to level up, you know, and that's what I said 2021 is going to be about. And yo, I just want to hit you with a little story time. You know, the time where I thought this patient, I thought she was going to die. You know, it's like what's it called, HIPAA. I can't let you know like what's the name. So we going to say her name is Sarah. You know, just for the sake of the video. You know, so in clinicals, you know, once we got like, you know, the teacher came in and let us know who we had for the day. You know, we had to pretty much take care of the person. Like, take care of, this was our patient for the day. You know, so we'll go in, you know, we'll do our vitals, you know, boom. You know, this lady, she was, actually, now that I think about it, I didn't even have her for that day. You know, so whoever I had for the day, you know, I came in, did my vitals, you know, took the blood pressure, you know, the apical pulse and everything. You know, so being at the place, you know, they always seemed like they was kind of short on like workers, and you know, they had people that were like full feeds, half feeds. Like the half feeds, you know, you just set them up and they could pretty much feed themselves. But the full feeds were people that just couldn't, like you had to do literally everything for them. You know, so the person I had for the day, you know, they was like a half feed, you know, so all I had to do was like set them up and they pretty much did what they had to do. It took them a little while, but they pretty much got it done. You know, so what we would do there is we'll go ask the other CNAs, like, who can we help with? You know, who needs to be fed, you know, to kind of help your day go by? And they appreciated that to the fullest, you know, because who wouldn't? It's less work for them. We got 6 extra hands, 12 if you want to be technical, 12 extra hands to help our day go smooth, you know? So we had to like wash them, we had to feed them, do their vitals, feed them and wash them, get them dressed, and then we'll go back and do our paperwork, you know, for whoever we had for the day. You know, so being that the patient I had for the day, they was pretty much good, you know, for breakfast time. You know, so I go in this lady's room, you know, and this lady, I kind of forgot what was wrong with her, but she couldn't communicate. You know, it's like she would not communicate, just like I said. And she would do a lot of like a lot of pointing. And you know, and it's like, I'm sorry, like the first time I came across this lady, like, I'm a jerk. You know, it's like me, I find the most inappropriate things funny. And like she was like, you know, it's like she would do this thing like when I still don't know what she was trying to say, but she'd be like, oh, and like she just like, I'm sorry for the sounds, like Lord, please forgive me, you know, but for the sounds, like I need to make the sounds to make this like video, make this story time, like you know where I'm at. So it's like I'm feeding her and she would always try to feed herself. And you know, she could feed herself, but her problem was she wouldn't swallow anything. So she'd end up choking, like her face would get red and like she'd end up choking. You know, so it's like I'm feeding her, you know, I'm giving her the food and like something's on TV. So it's like she's like pointing at the TV, pointing, you know, and she's like this, you know, so I'm like, I'm trying to figure out, you know, it's like, I think I'm a very compassionate person, you know, so it's like I'm trying to figure out what she's like. I'm playing charades at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to play charades with this lady, like, oh, you know, and I can't understand what she's saying. So it's like very often I hit her with the, oh yeah, oh yeah, like she could understand me, but she just couldn't communicate. So she's like pointing at the TV. So it's like I look at the TV and then I like, just make up something like, oh yeah, oh Ariana Grande, I remember that was on the news at the time. Oh, Ariana Grande, she could really sing, So go back to feeding her, go back and I'm just feeding her. And then it's like whenever I would take too long, she would like grab my hand and like try to make me feed her, or she'd try to take the spoon out of my hand, and then one of the CNAs was like, oh, she can feed herself. So I'm like, all right, cool. You said she can feed herself, so I'm gonna take your word for her. You see this patient at least 3-4 times out the week. If it's not your side, you see it like several times throughout the week. So you know her better than I do. So I'm like, all right, cool. I let this lady, try to feed herself, and she was doing it. Don't get me wrong, she was doing it, feeding. She'd do it real slow, but the problem was she wouldn't swallow. She often would try to like tuck food like in her cheek like a squirrel. And she'd tuck it in there, so I'm watching it. So like whenever I see it going on, I'll take the spoon from her and then like, make her swallow. Like I'll cue her like, come on, Sarah, we gotta swallow your food. Take your time. And she would just like, I don't know if she wasn't breathing or just like not swallowing. So she would like, so I'm like, all right, cool. Let me give her some water or something, so she'd drink it. Being that she did everything fast, like all her liquids like were thickened, so she had like thick water. I didn't know you could possibly have that. Thick juice, thick milk, like everything was just like really, really thick. And that's what she had. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll hold the spoon, like hold it up to her, so she could drink, and we was rocking out for a little while. Like I fed her, like this still the same time, not one time. I fed her, I took the spoon out of her hand, so I'm like, all right, cool. We're gonna feed her. And I thought this was it for this lady, Me being a student, I'm like, damn, I come into this place and I'm about to take this lady out, because I feed her, and then she just starts like coughing. And then like, what made it even more scarier is that she looked at you when she was coughing, and choking. So she'd be like, and she just like look at you. So I'm like, damn, so I'm like, she does that on me. Like I go to feed her and then she just like, she's getting red, so I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? So it's like, she had like the liquid, she had, I think it was like milk or something like that. I think she liked milk, so she's like, just looking at me in my face. And I'm like, damn, what do I do? So it's like, I go to give her like the cup, just in case, she throws up or something like that. And then, I go to give her the liquid so she can drink. And then she just like takes the thing and she's like, and she's just like going in. And I'm just sitting in, I'm the only one in the room. I'm like, oh shit, this lady's about to go down while I'm like in charge of her. It's like, this is not even my patient for the day. And I'm about to take this lady out. And just in case, she's like, and then she's trying to drink while she's like choking. So it's just like, yo, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm fucked up. I'm sorry. But when I say I panicked, like, I thought this was it for this lady. Like, they were just gonna be like, yo, Mr. Richardson, you done effed up on this patient. We gotta like kick you out of school. And it was like, that was like the scariest thing ever. And it was like, I don't know, like in my clinic, in my whole class, it was only 2 guys, me and someone else, So anywhere we went, I'm guessing like the people were like expecting like female nurses and whatnot. But I was like the only male, and it seemed like she just kind of, I'm not even gonna say have a thing for me, but it's like the females there, they were kind of, open to me feeding them. They wanted me to feed them opposed to the other females and whatnot. So she was like, this isn't the first time she did it. the second time she did it, it wasn't with me. But since I've like dealt with it before, I kind of knew it didn't catch me off guard. But the person that had her, she was just like, oh, and the whole time she's like looking at me, like she's in the feeding, no, not the feeding room, but the lounge. You know, it was like a little small room where they would feed like the full feed patients, and she's feeding her, and then like the girl she was talking to me and her were conversing. And then she just goes into this choking thing again. Like she's like, and just like looking at me. And I'm like, yo, why are you looking at me? You know, what did I do? You know, but since I've dealt with her before, it's like, it didn't catch me off guard. You know, so I grabbed the tissue and I'm like, you know, rubbing her back and all that and like, you know, wiping her face. Cause like everything is just like coming out. She's like, and it just like looked like she was about to bust like a blood vessel. And I was like, yo, that had to be like the scariest thing of like Mod 2. You know, Mod 2 clinicals. Because this is the first, like a lot of people in like my class, they were already like CNAs. You know, so a lot of the stuff they was like kind of used to. So, but for me, that was like, oh my God, that was, I didn't know what to do. You know? And the only thing, like I said, the only thing that just like went through my mind was like, damn, Courtney, you done killed this lady. In school. Like, you know, you don't even got your license yet. And you done taking people out left and right. And yo, that had to be one of the scariest things for Mod 2. You know, everything else, like, you know, the whole getting used to like doo-doo smell and stuff like that. Like, I got used to that. You know, but that, I wouldn't wish that on nobody. Like, I know that would, like, anybody would have panicked in that situation. So not just me. It's just unfortunate that it happened to me. But that was that, guys. You know, hopefully you enjoyed the story time. You know, I got a couple more for you. Yeah, I probably got like 2-3 more from Mod 2 that I want to tell. You know, so if you did enjoy this video, if you do want to hear those other story times, you know, leave a comment. You know, be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And I don't know, just hit me with some questions, you know, from nursing school. You know, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's going through nursing school, and I'm pretty sure you will want like my input, you know, my insight on what we went through. You know, so guys, next video, holla at you guys. Thank you for rocking with your boy, all right? Peace.
Made it. Boy, look at the flick of the wrist. They running down on you cause they figured you quit. They all up in your face like this nigga's a bitch. And if your nigga try to reach it, they leaving them quick. Pull out the strap, then they empty the shit. Dumping and squeeze it till the blicky go click. Either you hit or you miss. And where the grit stick to the pan, but we stick to the script. These niggas ain't about nothing. These niggas, they just